Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order, the special city council meeting at 6 p.m. on February the 1st, 2022, 6:45 p.m., I'm sorry, 6:45 p.m. On February 1st, 2022, by myself, Council Chair Dave Abdallah. Madam Clerk, please take roll call.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Or let's do the Pledge of Allegiance first.
All the members?
Redo roll call first.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so Madam Clerk, go ahead.
Dave Abdallah,
Here?
Hassan Ahmad,
Here.
Mobe Dun,
Here.
Nancy Breyer,
Present.
Robert Constant,
Here.
Ray Muscat is absent, and Tom Wenzel.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this particular point, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. If we could have it led by our Marine Corps Mayor, Bill Bazzi.
Marine Corps.
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is agenda approval.
Council Chair,
Councilman Moby Dun, go
I
ahead.
move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the agenda of the special meeting on February 1st, 2022 as submitted.
Support.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Baidoon, supported by Councilman Ahmad. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, motion carried. There's no approval of minutes on this particular agenda. Next item on the agenda is public hearing and comments on agenda items only. You will have 2 minutes to comment on anything on the agenda.
Council Chair, I think we didn't take a vote on that.
I'm sorry?
We didn't take a vote on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
On approval.
on approval of the minutes. No,
Agenda.
on agenda approval, okay. So go ahead, let's go ahead and take that to a vote, I'm sorry. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item on the agenda is public hearings and comment on agenda items. And this is on agenda items only. You will have 2 minutes to speak. Madam Clerk, well, first of all, let's start in the audience. Anybody in the audience? None? Madam Clerk, anybody on
I have two
Zoom?
on Zoom.
Okay, go ahead, please state your name, the city that you live in, and the street that you live on. Thank you.
Okay. It has to be on the agenda.
Correct, it has to be on the agenda.
Oh, the closed session.
And if you have a public comment, it'll be coming up next, pretty much. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Mr. Saab had his hand up, but it's down. Now I'm going to ask for Mr. Dombrowski.
Okay, Vince Drapkowski, I'm sorry, in regards to agenda items, go ahead.
We'll get it right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council, Mr. Mayor, and people in the audience. What I want to comment on is the commenting on this meeting. There's really no meeting. This is a closed study session. So how can we have comments from the public? Okay, if there's an issue that needs to be brought up, then bring it up at a regular city council meeting. So how can you have a comment in a closed study session, which has never been done before? Because I've been at a lot of city council meetings, and there's never comments on a closed study session.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll have our Councilor Gary Miyake answer you on that. Are you done with your statement?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Councilor Gary Miyake, are you online right now?
He's not.
He's not on?
I don't
Okay.
see here.
Okay, no problem.
But-
So I could, would you like to answer it, Madam Clerk?
I was just going to let
Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
let him know that the closed study session has to.
Wait, hold
occur-
on, Madam Clerk, he cannot hear you. I think your microphone's not on.
Hello?
Now they can hear you.
Okay, I guess I have to eat the mic.
Yep, as close as possible, especially, yep.
Okay. A closed study session has to occur during an open meeting. So that's why we're having a special council meeting, which is an open meeting, so that we can go into a closed study. So we
Correct.
can go into a closed meeting.
And it is published and publicized ahead of time.
Yes. And that's the only
Correct.
purpose for this meeting, is the special meeting, so that we can have the closed study session as requested.
Correct. You're going into a closed study session, but there's never usually been a public comment prior to a closed study session.
Because, so this public comment would not be on specifically what's in the closed session. This is a public comment because we're still having a council meeting, a special council meeting, and therefore the audience and the residents would have an opportunity to be able to make a public comment on whatever it is that they want to comment on.
On agenda item only.
Okay.
Well, in this particular case, on agenda items, but eventually it'd be a public comments.
Right.
Okay, does that answer your question, Vince?
Sure, for now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from any members on Zoom on agenda items?
No, sir.
Madam Clerk, thank you. So next on our agenda is members of the public. Let me start first with comments from council members. Is there any comments from council members?
Council Chair?
Councilman Mobidoon.
I'll leave it brief, but I just had a couple of things for the residents that are watching this that are at home. We are expecting to get a lot of snow. I know I've had a conversation with the mayor. He'll be potentially be calling for a state of emergency when he feels that the time is right. So just be aware, park your cars in your driveways and off the streets. I'm asking that you guys be patient. I know a lot of the council members in the city and the ones that work in the mayor's office are going to be getting a lot of phone calls about getting their streets plowed. Just to be patient. I also want to recognize today is World Hijab Day. So I just want to recognize that to all the women in the Muslim world that are wearing the hijab today. My mother, my sister are those as well who wear it. And then also it is February 1st, which reminds us that it's Black History Month. So I also just want to recognize that, and thank you so much. I will yield the rest of my time, Council Chair.
Thank you, Councilman. Is there any other comments? Councilman Tom Wenzel, go ahead.
I was also want to recognize the start of Black History Month. And something I've been doing for a few years is Googling it, blacks in history accomplishments. And the one I did today I found was pretty interesting is that a black person invented the stoplight. And he lived in Detroit. So the stoplight was invented in Detroit by a black person.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's interesting. Thank you, Councilman. Any other announcements from the City Council? Mr. Mayor, any announcements? Any announcements from any of the directors? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move to public comments. At this particular point, we're going to go to public comments. You'll have 3 minutes each to speak. Please state your name, the city that you live in, and the street that you live on. Please keep it cordial. Please keep it respectful. And I will not have anything read before your comments. So go ahead. Madam Chair, first of all, let's start in the audience. Anybody in the audience? Seeing none, Madam Chair, can we go to Zoom, please?
Yes. Mr. Saab?
Hassan Saab,
Good
go
evening.
ahead.
Good evening, Hassan Saab, John Daly, Dearborn Heights. Like I was stating earlier when I got interrupted by Mr. Mayaki, last week at the city council meeting, the Dearborn Heights Police Department that showed up and, the way they disrespected the mayor every time he spoke or tried to haggle him every time he had a response to anything was absolutely disrespectful. And to the chief, I know the chief is on here listening. You got to remember that the residents of Dearborn Heights elected the mayor and the city council, not the police department. About 85% of the police force does not even live in the city of Dearborn Heights. For them to come up there and question the mayor and question oversight in the city, that's not their position to make. They're police officers. They're just like any other employee in the city. Doesn't mean they carry a gun or a badge. They have higher authority than any employee in the city. And I say again, it starts at the leadership at Mark Meyer's office. As some of you guys know on city council that night, I was interrupted while reading my legal opinion twice by an officer in uniform. As I got off the podium and walked back, he decided to bump me and assault me in the sign of intimidation that he wasn't happy. That's unacceptable. Again, we are the residents in Dearborn Heights. We elected officials. Employees of the city don't get to make choices and decide how the city's ran. And as for Mayor Belbazzi, I appreciate you having thick skin and holding back. And thank you for everything you've been doing to the city and the change you've changed in the past year. And I hope this police department eventually learns that the good old Golden Boys days, it's coming to an end. Their circle that they have of trust is coming to an end. And again, it starts at the leadership of Mark Myers. And it's just, you go to get a FOIA, they want to record you receiving a FOIA. When there was 10 other people at the window, does that make sense to anybody at this council, at this body? You go pick up public records, they want to record you. Because Captain Corey Smith ordered it. Makes no sense. I mean, change has got to come at the police department. I know the committee, Mayor Bazzi put a commissioner. It's not enough. It's not enough. The city's going to get hit with multiple lawsuits over this. Thank you, guys. Guys, have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Saab. Madam Clerk, who's next up?
I do not show any, I don't see any hands up right now.
Okay, last chance. Seeing none, we're going to go ahead and move into the next section of our city council meeting.
Council Chair, I move that we move over to a study session at...
Closed session.
or to a
Closed session.
I'm sorry, Council Chair, I move that we move over to a closed session at 6:53 PM.
Support.
Okay, motion to move to a closed session made by Councilman Mobedoun, supported by Councilman Constant. Madam Clerk, can you please take roll call? And I'm going to make an announcement right after this, but go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Okay, Council Chair Abdallah,
Yes.
Councilman Ahmed,
Yes.
Councilman Baydoun,
Yes.
Councilwoman Breyer,
Yes.
Councilman Constant,
Yes.
and Councilman Wenzel.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, that motion passed.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. At this particular point, the business part of our meeting is over. We're going to go ahead and go into a closed session. Then we're going to come back, and we're only going to be coming back to adjourn only. And the only reason I'm saying that is, since we've already given the members of the public the opportunity to be able to make their public comments, I just don't want residents to wait if they don't want to. All we're going to be coming back for is just to move to adjourn and nothing else beyond that. So it's at your discretion. You're welcome to stay if you'd like. At this particular point, we're going to go ahead.
Question, Councilman.
Go ahead, Councilman.
And maybe you or our very lovely Madam Chair can, or Madam Clerk can answer this. Say I voted no. We just did a roll call, and I said no.
Majority.
Majority votes, but I still go over to the meeting, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I was just curious.
No, that's a good question.
It is, good question. No, Neil,
I would like to change my vote.
No, that's a good question.
I just didn't know, I mean, I know we do roll call when it moves to a,
The closed session.
closed session.
Right. The only other question I have, Madam Clerk, if you could clarify for me, what the closed session, not so much what it's about, but what's on public here, publicly written. Do we have to announce what that is or no?
Oh, you can. I
But
mean, it's on the
not obligated
agenda.
to. Okay, no problem. So at this particular point, we're going to go ahead and go to a closed session, and we'll be right back to adjourn.
Council Chair. Move we-
Councilman Constant.
I move we go, return to open session.
Support.
Motion made by Councilman Constant, supported by Councilman Baydoun.
Roll call.
Those in favor, say
I'm sorry? So all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Aye. The ayes have it.
Council Chair,
Councilman Hassan.
I motion to adjourn the Dearborn Heights City Council special meeting at 9 p.m.
Councilman Hassan Ahmad, motion to adjourn,
I second
seconded
that.
by Councilwoman Nancy Breyer. Any other questions or concern? Vote on it. All in favor, please state aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it.